Folks at home, welcome to another episode of Carolina Outdoors. I'm Alex Summer. Today we're on Lake Greenwood, South Carolina with my good buddy Wayman Coleman. He's going to put us on some largemouth bass. So y'all stay tuned. We got plenty of bass action coming right up.
The Kubota dealers of the Carolinas are proud to present Carolina Outdoors, showcasing our passion for the outdoors, for Earth, for life.
Laid it here on time. I was able to get it done. It's a big wide 8-point. Come on. 2 birds, 1 shot.
Carolina Outdoors with Alex Summer is next.
Welcome back, folks. We're here on Lake Greenwood, right outside of Greenwood, South Carolina, and this is about 12,000 acre lake. We're fishing with Wayman today. Wayman's gonna put us on some largemouth. Wayman, talk about a little bit of our setup and what's gonna be our tactic as far as trying to get on these bass first thing this morning.
Right. Well, this morning we're actually going to be throwing some small topwater baits. The fish this time of year are feeding up on small thread fin shad, so we're gonna try to duplicate what they're eating with a small topwater bait first thing this morning, and hopefully we can get on some good ones early.
Right. I know these fish are transition. Bass are always on the move, and you do one thing in the morning, and we're liable to finish the day up a little different.
Right. As the day progresses, you'll still have some schooling activity, but we'll probably end up hitting some brush piles or something of that nature deep, because that's where they have transitioned to. Right.
And our depth this morning, we're kind of going to start off maybe around points or something like that.
We're going to work a few points, a few humps, anything that goes from that 20-foot mark up to nothing almost.
Right.
The bass are chasing the bait up on these points and humps. So that's what we're going to roll around on first thing this morning.
All right. Well, let's don't waste no more time talking about it, man. Let's put it in their mouth.
Let's get it done.
Yes, sir. You want to tell us a little bit about your boat and basically how we're going to work these topwater baits today?
Well, basically, we're fishing out of a 20-foot Triton bass boat. I fish a lot of tournaments year-round, and with this setup, this length of boat, this is actually my first time with a 20-foot. I usually run a 21, but I actually enjoy the 20-footer. It allows me to get in tighter places a little bit better. I have, a main setup for me, tournament angler, the power poles, which allows me to anchor down shallow water or either docking. The Bob's hydraulic jack plate allows me to get on plane in shallow water. Right. 3 foot, and I can get on pad when other people can't because their motor's digging in the water, into the ground. Right.
Did somebody sponsor you for the power poles?
Power pole sponsors me. Bob's Machine Shop that makes the jack plate, they sponsor me as well. Right. One of the biggest contributing factors this year was I got on with Battleborn battery, so I'm actually running lithium batteries for my trolling motor system, and they weigh 29 pounds roughly a piece. So versus the lead acid batteries that were 85 pounds a piece.
Plus I imagine they hold a lot better charge too.
Holds the charge longer. I've actually fished three and a half days with no charge.
Really?
Yes. And the good thing I like about it is 3 to 3.5 hours and they're charged up, ready to go. Yeah. So by the time I come back, to the camp or wherever we stand and redo my tackle and stuff of that nature, when I'm ready to go to bed, I can just unplug my boat. It's charged up, ready to go for the next day. Right. So yeah, I mean, that's been one one big contributing factor this year.
Well, I know you got a nice boat wrap on this thing too. You want to tell us a little bit about the story about that?
Well, that actually started, it was almost like a 2-year process, honestly.
Right.
I work for the city of Greenwood at the fire department.
Right.
I'm a fireman there. And the tourism department, I was in contact with Miss Kelly. And I used to always, be like, hey, y'all need to wrap the boat, and finally, they actually came to me and was like, yeah, that's a good idea, as much as I'm on the road and everything.
So what you're telling me is you caught so many fish, they figured you could bring more fishermen on this lake.
Right. Yeah, that would be a good thing if that was the case. But no, it's, Greenwood, Lake Greenwood is an awesome place. Greenwood itself is a great place. So it's just one of those things, The employee works there, stays in Greenwood.
Well, I know it's one of the small lakes, but there's plenty of good fishing on this lake.
Greenwood actually has a lot of big largemouth in it. Right now it now has spotted bass in it as well.
Right.
And the spotted bass was introduced probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, I know a lot of people ain't happy about that though.
No, a lot of people don't like it because they're somewhat taking over, but they haven't completely taken over. But the spotted bass that you catch now are actually good sized tournament spotted bass.
Right.
I've seen several 5-pound spotted bass weighed in out of this lake.
And they're a lot more aggressive, probably like, I reckon you'd say a smallmouth, because everybody likes catching smallmouth because they fight so hard. And I know, spotted bass are real aggressive and they fight pretty hard themselves, don't they?
I mean, you can catch a 10-incher and it'll feel like you're fighting a 2-pounder.
Right.
And they about eat anything. Normally they're kind of easy to catch.
I reckon that's one of the reasons they say that they're taking over, because they're just such aggressive fish that they'll eat any kind of bait.
Eat anything. If it moves, they'll eat it. They reproduce so fast and so much.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people don't like the spotted bass, especially when this lake was a dominant largemouth lake.
Right.
But the largemouth in here are big largemouth. Greenwood actually was fishing really well the last couple months. It took 27, 28 pounds in several tournaments.
That's a heck of a bag.
Back to back to win. So it speaks for itself.
How they
Come on, get it.
How they do?
Swirling on it. He needs to come on and hit it. Like he can't make up his mind. There you go. Stealing my fish there, Wayman.
I know it, man.
It's a good one though. Good one. Not
what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's a hybrid there, ain't it?
Yep.
Now tell me what makes it a hybrid between a striper and a hybrid.
All right, let me make sure I don't get stuck.
Yeah, don't get stung first.
All right, so in your hybrid, most of your hybrid will have some characteristics of a striper at the top, but if you look midsection down, the lines are broken up.
Right.
On the striper, 95% of the time it's gonna have solid black lines going all the way down the side.
Now I know that these hybrids, they are fighting fish too. I mean, they fight just as hard.
Yeah, they fight just as hard. A small one like this will fight just like you got a 10-pounder on.
Right.
But if we had a 10-pounder on, we'd probably be following him around in the boat for a second.
Yes, sir.
That probably was that school that we saw.
I know another thing too is, I know we, like I said, caught the hybrid here, but largemouth, what's the limit on largemouth in this lake?
Largemouth is 10.
10. And they got to be 14 inches?
14-inch length limit, and the creel limit is 10. That's a combination of largemouth or spotted bass.
Right.
So it's either one.
All right, well, let's catch a limit then. Let's catch a limit.
Let's catch it.
God. Yes. Now, Wayman, I know, you know, we're fishing this top water right now. What kind of line and tackle, you know, what are we using, our setup right here as far as our rod, you know, the action of our rod and all that?
Our basic setup with the rods and everything, we're using high seas fishing line, Kistler rods, and Abu Garcia reels.
Okay.
So basically the rod setup.
Is that generally the setup you like using for top water, or?
Yeah, I normally use a shorter rod when I top water fish, 7 foot, just because of normally you're doing a jerk.
Yeah, how much you working it.
And a longer rod tends to either go in the water or you tend to hit the boat.
Right.
And with that shorter rod and me being long, I can actually just keep it out the way, not hit anything and that sort of stuff.
Right. And I mean, does it because maybe when you know so much the jerking and stuff that you do, that you know it, do you get a better set on them? You know, as far as when they actually do blow up on top water.
The top water fishing is one of those things that you almost have to train yourself because a lot of people react off of the sound.
Yeah.
Versus
I just did that a while ago.
versus the feel. And one thing I love about the Kistler rods is that one, they're real light, so you can do this type of fishing all day long and not be wore out. Two, with the tips, it allows the fish to actually get the bait before he really feels you up back here, fitting to put the hooks in it. So it allows him to really get the bait, and then you get a better hookup ratio.
Right. And one more thing I'd like to talk about on, you know, here on Greenwood, you know, a lot of lakes have a lot of deeper lakes. You know, if you go down to Santee and stuff, now you don't have a lot of depth there. Right. But still, you know, in the upstate, you'll have some depths on these lakes. You know, as far as Murray, you'll have 130 foot. The deepest part of this lake's about, what, 60 foot?
60 foot, 55, 60 foot is about the deepest you're going to find on this lake, and that's actually more towards the dam.
Right.
This lake has a lot of offshore humps.
Yeah. And it's real thin too. It's like one big river running, almost seems like, ain't it?
Right. So basically, you have the Saluda River and the Reedy River coming in, and all of it funnels one way.
Right. When you out here bass fishing or something like that, and if you are fishing up the lake and you see it's that muddy, does it generally make you come down here and fish below the trestle?
No, actually, the dirtier the better for me. I'm a shallow water fisherman anyway.
Right.
I like a little stain. If it's muddy, that's fine too. The only time I have an issue with it, with watercolor, really is if it's mixing. So like, if you pull up in the area and you can kind of see the mud churning in with the water,
right?
You can about cancel that as far as trying to fish that.
Right.
But if it's just muddy, that's fine.
Don't bother you any.
You know, that's when you bring out the big wobble crankbait, the big spinner baits.
Right.
Make some noise and stuff like that. So I mean, dirty water, muddy water doesn't bother me at all. I actually tend to go towards it more than I will clear water.
Right. Got him on a swim bait. There you go, stay down. I don't know if it's too good, but I know we switched up baits again. I switched to a swim bait this time.
Right.
And you still fishing, what is that you fishing with?
The Ned rig.
Ned rig. All right. Oh, right here at the boat.
You can see right here, we actually kind of came on top of the brush pile.
Yeah. Well, I believe you got a spot there too, but that's a little better one like you were saying.
Another decent spot in the brush. Off the Ringo worm from Profound Outdoors.
I mean, that fish, I mean, he's a great shape to him. He's looked like a little football on him.
Right, and he's got a nice, thick, healthy fish.
And you can really see the pattern real good on that fish because it's an adult.
Definitely see the pattern of that one. As you
Turn
can
around
see,
to the side, yeah.
As you can see right here, now one way to tell a spot versus a largemouth.
Right.
That jawbone stops right at the eye.
Right.
A largemouth comes on the backside, and then you got that little patch of teeth right on his tongue, Right there. If you rub across it, you can actually feel the.
And you can tell their mouth ain't nowhere near the size
right,
of
and their mouth is a whole lot smaller.
Right, and that's one of the things I know. I don't know if we covered it earlier. Was talking about it. Is they kind of got a mouth like a smallmouth does.
Right. Yeah.
And so they actually breed with smallmouths, and they say they actually help. Because one, being aggressive, two, that they actually breeding with a smallmouth and red-eye coosy bass, which is native to South Carolina, and they say it's actually pushing them toward extinction. The red-eye bass is, because they're interbreeding with them.
Yep, that's right. Hey, good brush pile fish. That's why we came.
That's right. Got one right here. Come on around this back side of the boat.
Is he running around the boat? Is he
Yeah.
big?
No, he ain't that big, but I'm gonna let him come in there like that, ain't he? He want to stay down there like him. He just got a lot of attitude. A lot of attitude. Yeah, that's what it is. Then spot fish, look at him. Here we go. I'll boat swing him.
That high booster hook got him though.
Yeah, it sure did. It stuck him. He was coming right to the boat with it, but that's fine. We'll take him. See, that's the trophy fish right here. Big. I get the big fish for the day, right, Wayman?
Yeah.
There you go. Decent one there, huh?
Oh yeah.
Looks a little better.
Feels a whole lot better.
So what kind of school we done got into, huh?
We gonna see. He pulling up pretty good.
Right there at the boat. That school just stay up, so I know we moved over here when it got on the school, Wayman, and I mean, that was the whole idea, just to move around until we found something that was schooling.
Right, right, that's the main deal.
Oh yeah, that's a good largemouth.
I got white line.
Don't want to just throw them in the boat, huh?
Yeah. Hey, throw right here in front of me.
That's more indicative.
Follow them up. If you look on the hummingbird right here,
yep.
you can see where they followed that fish up.
Okay, so that was basically running right behind him,
Right.
thinking that he was
Chasing bait.
right.
So I swapped it up a bit. I actually picked up a little Ned rig inside the schooling fish.
And I noticed we've been throwing a bunch of different things, just basically trying to.
Right, just basically trying to get something small. This is a perfect little deal on schooling fish when they really don't want to eat top water. Or in your bigger top waters.
Right.
Just throw this down in between the school or around them.
And that's the thing with the school, they basically running something and that.
Right.
And you just basically, I know what you were telling me earlier, you were saying like you want something the size of the bait they're running. That's your biggest thing.
Right, right. They're gonna take the bait that they feeding on. And this little deal here, this is perfect little setup. The way it falls and you can kind of work it vertical.
And I reckon that color you'd call it, what color would you call it? Kind of the shad color, ain't it?
It's similar to the shad color. I actually I think this is actually like a perch color.
Okay.
That they call. They just kind of imitate some of the shad.
Which we ain't real sure what they're schooling on. We're assuming it's shad, but.
Right. But nice largemouth.
That's a great largemouth. And you know, how big would you say that is? Probably 3 pounds, so?
Yeah, give or take.
It's good fish. Hopefully we'll catch plenty more of them, right?
Yeah.
We'll love to catch about 5, 6 more of them. That's a good day.
Exactly.
And that'd be a good bag too if you was tournament fishing, right?
Yeah, I'll take him in today on the tournament.
That's right. Well, folks.
Let him go back. Take off a little bit.
Well, folks, y'all stay tuned. Hopefully we'll bring you plenty more big bass right here on Carolina Outdoors. Well, Wayman, I know if everybody at home need to see what you just did, you hand reeled that fish in, though. Right. That's one more thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, I did hand line him in. I actually just cut my line. I had a knot in it, and I had cast it out, then got the knot and cut the knot, and I was hand lining my line back in out the water, and he bit, and I got him in.
Well, I just want to know, did you snatch your wrist on that one, or you just had his
I just did a light hook set, so yeah. I did a hand set this time.
Thank for them sharp hooks, right?
Exactly, sharp hooks, buddy. High booster hooks.
That's right. Well, folks, I mean, Wayman's put us on these fish today. I mean, we're probably going to do a little bit more fishing, maybe try to catch 1 or 2 more, but that's all the time we have for today's show. So until next time, get out and enjoy your Carolina Outdoors.
Thanks for watching Carolina Outdoors. More information and other great shows are at nccarolinooutdoorstv.com. See you next week on Carolina Outdoors.